Hi, Catherine Oaks here with Slice Marketing. I'm sad today. I'm sad because I just heard bad news that Melinda and Bill Gates are calling it quit. You know, when I was looking at that couple, I thought they were just an amazing example as a couple that can stay together for so long after, I'm sure, going through a lot of challenges as a young couple, but also as a couple that became extremely successful and a couple that became extremely wealthy. They were doing such amazing things together that I just held them up as an example to abide by, an example of love, to to inspire others, because I thought it was absolutely beautiful and I admired them, whatever they were doing together. So I'm sad today because I wonder what happened. I hope it's not another one of those made stories that we hear so many times with famous people. I hope that it's something else. And whatever it is, I guess that's what it is. I'm just sad. And along with that news today, I would like to today speak about principles and ethics. I was at church on Sunday, and Father Cam at the St. Anthony of Padua's church in Las Vegas gave probably the best homily I have ever heard in my life. Father Cam is an absolute gem, and when he speaks something, it resonates with you. On Sunday, Father Cam spoke about the principles of life that create the foundation of our life and build a foundation that allow for a well-lived life, but much more than that, a life that is based on principles and ethics that will protect us and that will help us avoid going through too many troubles. The foundation of the house is everything. If the foundation is not stable, you can build the most beautiful house in the world, it will not stay up. Eventually, with a little bit more winds or a little bit of challenges, the house is going to fall. So Father Cam was explaining to us what are the foundations of a life well lived. Well, the foundation of a life well lived are based on the principles of the Bible. The Bible tells us exactly what to do, yet we have a tendency to forget about it, or we have a tendency to dismiss it. The Bible gives us the tool to establish a life of purpose, to establish a life well lived that will allow us and that will enable us to accomplish as many things as we want and to go after our dreams with foundations, with a foundational structure that will allow us and enable us to do so. So what is that? It is principles and ethics of life that we are forgetting right now. You know, we have the woke culture out there that is dismissing everything that we have done or that we are. And we have the extreme progressives that think that we can do just about anything we want and that's going to be okay. Well, I'm sorry, but that's a problem here. There's a huge problem that is eventually going to create anarchy in our society, and that's going to create chaos because we will have no principles to live by. And a life without principles is a life of chaos. You know, when you wonder why you're having issues in your life, you wonder why your children are not doing well, you wonder why you're not successful at your job, or you wonder why your relationship is not doing well. Maybe it's because you're not applying those principles that would allow everything I just mentioned to be doing okay. And I'm here as an example of mistakes I've made in my life. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. Had I known at 25 what I know today, I would have lived a very different life. But at 25, I decided to ignore the Bible. At 25, I decided I knew everything. I did not need guidance. So, you know, I went with the wrong people. I listened to the wrong people. I did not have the principles that I needed to have to protect myself, to protect me from going into terrible situations that have eventually ended up hurting me. So what are those principles? Let's talk about this. And I hope this is not what happened to the Gates, but I don't know, something's telling me that something like that happened. Maybe it was farting on something that, you know, a woman would never accept, or farting on something a man would never cope with, but I'm sure something happened right after all these years. So those principles are here. Let's start with speaking about them. Do not cheat. Do not cheat on your wife. Do not cheat on your husband. If you're not happy in your relationship, you discuss it as a couple and you come up to a conclusion that if you're not happy together, let's be honest. Let's put it on the table and split before you start going with someone else. Because I bet you and I guarantee you that the relationship that you're having hidden, you know, from your wife or your husband is never going to be successful. It's impossible. Why is it impossible? Because you live in a lie. So if you're not happy in a relationship, split, and then you can go and whatever, I think, do with anybody else you want out there. Then you have a chance of having a relationship that eventually is going to be okay. But typically, you know, after a split, you need time on your own so that you can find yourself. Otherwise, you can go from one relationship to another and then never be successful, never feel fulfilled, never feel happy. So that's the first principle. Do not cheat. The second principle is do not lie. Lies eventually are going to come up. If you don't live a life of truth, you will eventually pay for it. Because if you think you can hide something, or if you think that you're the best liar in the whole world and you've just practiced that for so long that nobody will notice it, then you're wrong. You're human, and at one point you will make a mistake and somebody will know that you lie. So do not lie, tell the truth. Even if sometimes the truth is hard to tell the truth. People in front of you will respect you for that, and you will build trust, and you will build partnerships that last for a long time. You know, sometimes in my company, I make mistakes. I'm human, right? Sometimes there are things I do not know. I'm not going to tell my clients that I know and lie about it and make up some things. I'm just going to tell them, sorry, I don't know. I would have to find out. Or sorry, I've made that mistake, so I will fix it. And be honest with them. And that's something that they will respect, and that's something that they will remember. So that's the second principle. Do not lie. First one, do not cheat. Second one, do not lie. Third one, be honest with yourself. You know, try not to emulate somebody else. Try not to copy someone else. Stop envying everybody around you, because envy is not going to lead to anything positive for yourself. It's going to make you feel inferior. It's going to weaken you. It's going to take you in a direction that is not the life that you're supposed to be living. We all have our own life, and we all have to find our own journey. And it's not by comparing yourself with someone else that you're going to get there. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to understand what your weaknesses are. You have to understand what your strengths are, and you have to live a life that resonates with what's in here, and in here, in your heart, in your guts, and in your soul. Nobody else will be able to tell you that. So stop copying someone else. Stop envying. Envy leads to nowhere good. And then you'll be able to fulfill everything that's in you and go after those dreams that are yours and only yours. So that's the third principle. The fourth principle is watch out for addictions. Addictions are dangerous because addictions will eventually take over your life. You know, when I hear, and I come from, I just left a very abusive relationship, and I call it abusive because I was with an alcoholic for years, and he was in complete denial, still is. And that denial just enabled him to keep doing what he was doing because he thought it was okay. He thought he was in control of his alcoholism, and that was anywhere but true. He was not in control of his alcoholism. Alcoholism was controlling him, and it was destroying everything around him. So you have to watch for addictions, whether it is alcohol, whether it is drugs. It can be medical drugs. You have to be watching for that. It can be recreational drugs, even more dangerous. Cigarettes, it's an addiction too that is eventually going to kill you and kill those around you. So addictions To me, addictions are weaknesses. Weaknesses are elements in your life that you need to first admit, embrace, and then deal with. And I know it's hard. It's not supposed to be easy to stop something. But eventually, if you don't stop that something is going to stop you. And not only is it going to stop you, it's going to impact those around you. So I know some people are not going to like what I'm going to say right now. But addictions are a sign of weakness, and addictions are selfish. Yes, I know you don't like it, but addictions, people who let those addictions take over their life, are people that are selfish, that are focused only on themselves. I have a daughter, she's now 25 years old. In my life, I went through a lot of challenges, but I always put her first. And I could never get drunk because I would not have been able to take care of her. I was a single mom. I would never take drugs because I would lose control of myself and I would not be able to take care of her if something happened. My daughter came first. I did not have the luxury to be selfish. I had to be selfless to take care of her properly. So people who allow themselves to be addicted to something are people who, two potential scenarios, people who know that someone else is going to be able to take care of them if they fault or if something goes wrong, because then eventually something will go wrong, or people that just think of themselves all the time. They don't care about others, they come first. So when I hear somebody addicted, like my alcoholic boyfriend telling me, I'm in control, it's okay, I love you, I put you first, God first, you second, me third. Bullshit, sorry, excuse my French, but hey, I'm French, I can say that, right? Bullshit. Those people put themselves first. They don't care about what happens to others. They put themselves first and their addictions is okay. I heard this all the time. So that's another thing that I think is really important that Father Cam was mentioning. This is part of the foundation of your life. We are attached to the vine, and we are the branches of the vine, and God is pruning those branches when we are not acting the way we are supposed to, right? These are the lessons of life. This is what I also call growth. So if you want to avoid being pruned too often, build those foundations that are solid foundations that will allow you to live a life well lived, that will allow you to live a more successful life, a happier life, and a more peaceful life. So that means if you're married, respecting your relationship, put your wife first, put your husband first, do not cheat on them, do not lie to them. If you have a business, treat others with respect, be honest, be truthful, be human, accept your humanhood. And if you make a mistake, then you admit it and you fix it together as a team. But don't try to hide, don't try to lie, don't try to steal from others, because eventually it's going to catch up to you. And then avoid addictions. Those addictions will take control over you and they'll destroy your life. So put others first, put your children first, put your pets first. I love my dogs so much that I would never allow myself to go drunk driving when they are in the car. Same with my daughter. Oh my God, that's so dangerous, right? You don't drive drunk with people you love or animals you love in your car. This is selfish, all right? So remember those foundations. If you want a life of success, well lived, as quickly as possible, start young, establish those foundations that will allow you to blossom. And those foundations that are made with principles that will allow you to live a life of honor. It's disappearing so quickly right now, it's worrying me. I hope again it's not what happened to the Gates. I'm so sad to hear that. But hey, whatever happened, happened, right? It's sad, but it's reality. It happens to a lot of people. But remember that principles and ethics are important in life. It's not something that belongs to the past, that the elderly did, whatever. No. Principles and ethics are the foundations of a well-lived life. I wish I had known that when I was 25. I know this now at the age of 56. And because I know this now, my life is changing. Have a great day, and till next time. Bye-bye.